Many people ask me, why do you come to UK? The same question was when I was traveling to Finland. Why do you come to Finland? I think it's just because the quality of the boulders that make me traveling in these areas, and also the history and the characters of the place. The rock in Northumberland, I think, is very special, and you have like quite a big variety, I would say. The rock here is like forcing you to be the best version of yourself climbing-wise. This is the feeling I have. When you return back from Font, you have this feeling of, okay, I am a better climber, because it's like I went to school. It gives you the feeling of movements that not many areas are able to give you. And Northumberland, I think, is even more. You grow as a climber because you learn every day how to behave here.
Yeah, it's really not the best technique, but
Northumberland wasn't in my radar, I would say, when I first heard about the bouldering here in the UK. It was Dan Varian, the first climber, who talked about me about Northumberland. I don't know, maybe when we met in Font a few times, maybe 10 years ago or something like that. You know, it's a country that is not really easy to get the information and have the knowledge of this place. Since I started to approach this country, climbing-wise, it was clear that you need to build up this knowledge. It's not an area where you go and then everything is ready to go. You need this extra effort, and especially coming from abroad and making trip there, you need to be well aware of the weather, well aware about the exposures of the boulders, and also about the history, because you can really feel that climbers were active here for way longer before you arrive. I had enough material to make my imagination working, but not too much to ruin the expectation and the real experience of it. And I was quite conscious from the beginning that this would have been like, go there and see with your own eyes how the place is. Of course, in UK you also have to consider like a strange weather. Okay, it can be bad, but also Font can be really bad. Northern Europe is another area where I've been traveling quite a lot, and it can be very bad as well. And it's just part of the whole process. It's not any difference between managing the weather and the planning and having finger strength, or having power to climb some boulders, or having the courage to face some high balls. It's all part of the same experience and the same process. And I think in places like that, it's even harder to detach single details of this process. It's all connected together, so you can't detach the fact of walking a lot, bringing pads to face big boulders, cleaning them, waiting for decent conditions, and commit on big boulders.
Nice.
Niky. Good. Yeah, come on. Die. Ale.
God, that move for that
Wasn't easy mentally. It was something running in my mind. It took me a while to put it off. Yeah. Nice, I'm really pleased with that. Grazie.
Good job, Niky.
Yeah, thank you.
Well done.
Yeah, thanks.
That was really, really cool.
Good job.
My analysis is basically around like 6 or 7 points that I try to consider when I choose to pick up a line or to commit on something. Some of them are really attached to the site of the boulder, so what we look at, and other aspects are more attached to the proper physical climb. The rock is, of course, like one of the most important points that I try to look at. And the line, which is different because the line is more about kind of the logic of the line and what it follows. If the line is like alone in that piece of rock or you have connection, this is for me like changing a lot. Like Blobby, there is no many other ways to climb that bit of rock, you know, you don't have any variation and it's rare. It's like, it takes a lot to find something like that. Of course, the full aspect of the boulder itself, so you don't consider the line, but the whole thing. So from a farther distance, a boulder from the young, you have this gray and clear wall that pops out from the green with incredible features, and the aspect of it is like, wow. And the type of holes is another very interesting things, and here in Northumberland is plenty of cool things to look and to try old-wise. I'm really attached to the landscape also, the place where we climb. Like Kalalai is quite incredible because you have like these woods, you feel engulfed into this environment. It's not very open, but when you top out, you have like the great view. And then you have a more physical part, which is the type of movements and the climb itself, which basically is on its own, because when you climb, you don't really look at the thing. Especially if you are so close to the wall and you are so focused in the climbing. So the feeling, the flow of the movements needs to be something that you feel with your body.
Here. Ah! Lady.
And then I think the last point is the whole experience. So what a climb gives to you once you're back home, you know, once you go back at home at night and sleeping, and you realize, okay, today has been a really good day because of this climb. I believe that when a climber does something, repeat a boulder, you can't really detach it from the history of that climb and from the history of our sport in general. It will be quite unfair to say that I climbed the young, because Andy Earl climbed it like staying straight on the wall and then a little bit right. For me, looking at that boulder, I personally thought it didn't make too much sense with logic, because at some point you find yourself with a positive crack that you can reach with your hand. And I didn't really like that. I thought that the version that Mickey Page climbed was more spontaneous. So that's a version of the young, because it's not the original, because if you wanted to climb the original, in my opinion, you have to stay straight to what the first ascensionist has done. I have a theory, which is if you really want to know a climbing character, you need to travel in the place that he has developed and try to climb the line that he has developed. Because I have the feeling that after being in some areas which have been developed by a specific character or a specific climber, you return back home like richer in terms of climbing and human experience. If you want to know about Fred Nicole as a climber, you should probably go to check his boulders and try his boulder. So the same for me was with Dan Varian. I knew that if I wanted to know his climbs and his way of approaching things, visiting his problems was something that gave me a lot. And thanks to the opportunity that I have of traveling around in many, many areas and many different countries, I got to the point that the climbs that I saw from then are probably the most impressive ones, both quality-wise, but also from the perspective of the vision that you need to climb something like that, but the incredible vision of being able to develop something like that. I think that only Nalle has been able to do something at that level. Probably just these two characters, in my opinion, have been able to push the boundaries of quality and vision to that point.
Yes! Come on! Come on!
I think the first time I talked about Bombadil, I was with Dave Mason in Red Rocks, and he told me, oh yeah, it's that boulder that is very far, and actually you have to use the e-bike to get there. I was a bit worried, because how can I even think about going there from Italy and considering something like that doable or achievable somehow. When I got here on my first trip, Dan brought me to Christianbury. Yeah, it was really incredible to stand in front of the boulder. I was like incredibly happy just to be there, you know. It's like a huge achievement, even just being there on the rope and touching these holes, because when I had the first imagination about this boulder, it felt so far, so unreachable. It felt like on another planet. I had 3 big sessions, and on the 3rd session was kind of towards the end of the trip. I approached the boulder as the same way as I did in the 2 sessions before, practicing on the rope and probably having some goes with paths to learn where and how I was falling, until the point where you can feel when the day is going towards an end. Everybody's kind of like, you know, closing their bags, and it's almost time to move, and everybody's just waiting to go, the time to go. It was that moment, and I didn't announce the last go, but it was kind of clear cut that I was about to leave as well.
Wow. Good job. Great effort.
And somehow everything clicked together and I found myself on top. If I think about 1,000 of boulders I've climbed in my life, I think just Biotronic in New Zealand is a boulder that I put up in 2016. Is the only one, the only experience that can match Bombadil. If I think about the repetition, for sure it's one of the days I will never forget in my life, and it was really good, really special, really satisfying.